catch-all garden.
I'm worried about that.
And if I have something I want to plant and I don't have enough space for it, I'll kind of stick it in here. But there's my orange cannas. I do have about 3 azaleas in here. And this is backed by another crepe myrtle and a large Japanese maple. And then this is just weeping, kind of half weeping Japanese maple that I'm trying to save in the container, but it adds to the garden. And then over here is a perennial that is a japonica. It's Falopia japonica, and it will spread underneath the ground, but it makes a beautiful background. And through here you'll see some clusters of dogwoods that were just kind of background plantings on through here. And it's always pretty when you're planting dogwoods to do groupings of them if you can. And then as you can see, I've got a few bird gifts of the cedars that's coming up. But back up to let me show you about my heuchera, my corbels. These are 2 strawberry jars. You wouldn't know it by looking. And they've been planted for 4 years, excuse me, for 4 years. And this ivy has been in there for as long too. They probably may be screaming for help this next spring though, because I know the roots are about to fill all of those 2 containers. And then more of blackberry lily that's just reseeded. And then this is your spiderwort Tradescanthia, and my first one of these came from my grandmother's home, and so I've got lots of spiderwort or Tradescanthia through the garden. Some more different varieties of corbel. Oh, these are a calla lily that a friend from out of town shared with me. They are the largest leaf calla lilies I have ever seen. The blooms are a yellow, and they're like that long each bloom. Magnificent. I've tried to order so that we could have these for sale, and I cannot find a source for these. He was an older gardener, but a wonderful man and wife, and he brought a huge bouquet to me one day at the garden center. I felt so loved.
I bet.
And then there's some more honeysuckle on the back of that little fence. And then there's still more coleus that have just been inserted through the garden area. And then this is Scotch broom, which has its yellow blooms in the springtime. But the foliage is beautiful. A couple more boxwoods, and then more containers. And I just leave these containers here from year to year, and when I start to replant them in a couple of weeks or so, I'll fill them with pansies. And then that provides some color out here for the winter time. And then this is another Foster holly here that's been trimmed up in tree form so that I can have some shade, some sun to filter in through it, along with that older dogwood there. But it has beautiful trunk though, the Foster holly does. And then this area just keeps going around. More Annabelles. And this is an old playhouse that we built for the children when they were small. David was about 3 and Charlie was about 8 and Jennifer was about 10 when we built that. And then this is my Jackson vine or Smilex. And then more boxwoods, more coleus, and more spiderwort and more hosta. And then back in the back, my St. Michael's daisies are beginning to bloom for fall. And then, as we walk through, Vicki was asking about oak leaf hydrangeas. And all of this is one. About every 3 years after it blooms, then I will cut it way back.
What variety? I ask a hard question.
You ask a way hard question because I've got Alice oak leaf that's planted over here, but this is the first oak leaf that we ever grew.
Ooh.
I'll check on that and get back with you. And then my peonies are back there and they're turning brown. It's time for them to be cut back. And then as we go on around to your left, this is another Hicks yew hedge, and see how large it has gotten. But it has served the purpose well because back over there we have the potting building. And then you'll see two large Norway spruces, and there's one other large Norway spruce over there. And these were our children's first Christmas trees. They were ball trees that we used, and so they just keep growing and growing.
And make a good story.
Yes, it does. A very good story. A garden is a collection of memories anyway, so. And then this is just another area with Nandina and some more roses, and especially my shrub roses over there. And there's a few floribundas that you'll see in between and all around. And if we can stop.